Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back in to the garage. Today's video is going to be one of restoration, and that is going to be the restoration of the headlights on my 2004 first gen Toyota Sequoia. Now, I just came into possession of this Sequoia. It's new to my garage. And if you check out my channel, you'll see the walkthrough video when I first picked it up and brought it into the driveway, as I covered some of the things on the Sequoia that I was looking to quickly address. And this is one of them. You see, the headlights were highly oxidized. And if you don't know what that means, it just means that you've got that yellow film on it, that cloudy appearance to your headlights, where it just, number one, is not appealing or attractive. It really takes away from the front end look of any vehicle. And then number two, it's not safe, because no matter what you do, it takes away from some of that road visibility at night. So in this video, I went ahead and used this Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restorer product. Now, it says it comes with Heal and Seal technology. With that's a pretty fun little tagline there, isn't it? But I'm in no way associated with Turtle Wax. But I did use this because it was readily available and it's on the lower spectrum of the budget. In fact, it might be one of the cheapest ones out there, if not the cheapest one. Now, if you see this video and you like the results and you want to pick this one up yourself, I'll leave a link in the description of the video so that you can get it quickly shipped to your door, and maybe you guys can try it on your vehicle. Now, with that said, all that stuff about the budget and the low end, this did a fantastic job. Like, I was so surprised pleasantly by the results that I got. I do think some of the results are dependent upon you following the process and the steps that the manufacturer has laid out, whether it be Turtle Wax or another manufacturer. And also, as I mentioned in the video, to me, any headlight restoration needs to be done late in the evening. That way, the surface of your headlight lens is not scalding hot. I just think that that really has a better result because the headlight lens is able to take the products better. It's a lot like washing your car or waxing it outside of the sunlight. Same concept there. So as always, listen, I hope you guys enjoy this video, man. The before and after results for me were fantastic. And if for some reason this certain product here doesn't last over time, then you know what? We're just going to get another headlight restoration kit and I'll make another video about it and we'll see how that one compares to this one. But for now, I was very, very pleased and very excited with the result. I think the front end of the Sequoia looks so much better, and I'm happy that at night it's going to be safer as well. Listen, as always, thank you all so much for your subscriptions. If you have any ideas for videos like this that you'd like me to cover, please leave it in a comment below. If you like 3rd Gen 4Runner content or 1st Gen Toyota Sequoia content, man, check out my channel and make sure you subscribe. I've got content coming in the future and a lot of past content that very well could help you or entertain you along your journey as well in your garage. Listen, thank you guys so much as always, and I'll see you next time. Here's a shot of the lens without the headlights on. Definitely a good view there of just how cloudy and hazy this really is. And here's the driver's side. Equally as bad. So here's the light output in our headlights. And as you can see, there is an LED bulb in here that the previous owner put. But man, there's a lot of cloudiness and imperfection in the headlight lens itself. That's a pretty solid view for you guys right there. And we're gonna pan over here and look at the driver's side. Same story on the driver's side. Lots of cloudiness, lots of hazing. It's definitely seen better days. So today we're going to be using the Turtle Wax Headlight Lens Restorer. This has Heal and Seal technology. Now, I've used the Turtle Wax product before on numerous occasions. It's one of the cheaper ones out there, and it's pretty readily available at your Walmart or your common auto parts stores, where I picked this one up. I don't claim that this is the best by any means, but number one, I've used it before. I think it works pretty good for the cost. and it's, like I said, readily available. Now, one thing I know is when you start to do this, you're gonna have to keep doing it. And you know, for that matter, I'm gonna start with the Turtle Wax product. If I think it's not as good as it could be, or I wanna try another product in the future, then we'll try it then and make another video on it. But for now, we're gonna go forward with this product. All right, so the first step is pretty clear. It says to wash your headlight lens, and I've already done that, but I'm gonna take some isopropyl alcohol here. This is 91%, and I'm gonna go ahead and prep the entire surface with that rubbing alcohol. I think this is a really good way to just make certain that you're getting the surface as clean as possible prior to applying any of the Turtle Wax product that we're gonna use to try to clarify our lens. I've done this with numerous items here using this alcohol, and it always works really, really well for me. So there we go. Dry it off with a microfiber towel, let that dry, and we'll come back and start our process. Now, your Turtle Wax kit is gonna come with quite a few components. First off, we have our lens clarifying compound. You'll see how this gets applied in the process. Then we also have our spray lubricant, also a very important part of the process. Now, two more components it comes with. It comes with a lens sealing wipe. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And a lens base coat wipe. We also have these two sanding discs. Now, the sanding discs are double-sided, so these two are actually 4 different grits of sandpaper. And it comes with a couple of gloves if you happen to need them. As you can see, I'm using gloves that I have here on hand at the house. So that's everything you got in the kit. And let's see if it can make some magic happen. All right, so step 1, we're gonna take our lens clarifying compound and we're gonna apply it to basically a microfiber pad here. And we're going to wipe the clarifying compound liberally over the lens that we're working to restore. Now, this compound will make a difference. It will clarify the lens, but typically it's not going to be all you need. It does say in the steps that if you use a lens clarifying compound and it comes out to your satisfaction, you don't have to proceed to the sanding steps, but I am going to proceed to those steps regardless. As you can see, the clarifying compound definitely removes some of that oxidization and immediately starts to make a difference. Now, I'm also doing this when it's late in a spring evening. It's probably about 6 p.m. right now, sun's going down. I prefer to do it in that time frame because the surface of the lens is not blazing hot. I don't know if it's gonna be the best for the video, but I will tell you that it's not a good idea to do this in the blazing hot sun when this plastic is baking. So we're gonna let that sit on there for a minute. All right, so it's been sitting here on the surface for about 2 minutes or so. That might differ based upon the time of day, but basically you just wanna see it come to a haze. And as you can see, it's chalky, it's hazy. Now that that's the case, I'm gonna take a microfiber towel and we're gonna go ahead and wipe off all of that clarifying compound in the opposite direction that we just worked. So I was swiping to the right or clockwise. Now to take it off, we're gonna go counterclockwise. Now immediately, I'll tell you, I'm impressed. It has made quite a significant difference in the headlight. Just right away, that clarifying compound really did a great job. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and move forward to these guys. And these are the sanding discs labeled number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Now, the instructions tell you to take the spray lubricant and spray it liberally on the sanding disc. I'm also gonna spray some on the actual headlight lens itself. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna sand it, in this case, in one direction for about 1 minute. After a minute, we're gonna come back with number 2, spray the pad, spray the surface, and do it in the opposite direction. We're gonna continue with 3 and 4 in the same cadence and pattern, 1 minute at a time, rotating directions that you're sanding within, applying firm pressure. Now the key is the spray lubricant. You want to keep your surface lubricated as much as possible while doing this. That's how the wet sanding process actually works. So you got a whole bottle here. Definitely no reason to be selfish and stubborn. And so we're gonna really wet that headlight down, and we're gonna spray that pad, and off we go. Now, one thing you should be able to start to notice right away is that this spray lubricant is essentially really milky. And that means it's working. That milky surface is, that milky liquid is essentially the oxidization on the surface of the headlight lens being removed. I don't have a timer set. I'm just basically gonna feel out a minute, and then we're gonna attack it with number 2. Starting number 2 here, working in an opposite direction. And as you work on this sandpaper, you're going to actually start to feel less resistance on the surface of the headlight. And what it's doing is, obviously it's becoming, for lack of a better term, it's just becoming slicker. And that's because you're removing all of the contaminants and oxidization off of the surface of the headlight lens by the wet sanding process. Well, we are making a mess, so that must mean that it is quite successful. We're moving on to number 3. All right, so number 3 is done. We're gonna move on to number 4, which is purple. That is our last step in the sanding process. All right, now that our sanding process is complete, we're gonna go ahead and wipe it off before we apply our lens clarifying compound one more time. All right, so we're ready for our lens clarifying compound. I'm going to use a new side here. And I'm going to be pretty liberal with it. Once again, we're going to be going in a circular motion this time, counterclockwise to apply it. Firm pressure. Now the instructions do say that this can be applied with power tool up to 1500 RPM. And honestly, that would be probably a pretty good touch. But in this case, I'm just going to trust on the old manpower to do the job. Now we're going to let this come to a haze for about a minute or two as well. All right, it's been a couple of minutes. We're going to come back with a microfiber towel again in the opposite direction of how we applied it. And in this case, that is going to be clockwise. And we are going to apply firm pressure. Now, honestly, what a fantastic difference. This product worked really, really well. I'm very happy with it. Now, remember, we do have a base coat wipe and what's called a lens sealing wipe, but the instructions make it very clear. Don't open those pouches until both headlights have been restored up to this point in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and start the restoration on the driver's side before we apply both of those wipes. A quick comparison here of the passenger side versus the driver's side headlight after the restoration has been applied on the passenger side. All right, we're going to hit it with a little 91% isopropyl alcohol, just like we did on the other side. There we go. We're going to let that dry before applying our lens clarifying compound next. All right, so same step here. We're going to use a clean side and we're going to apply our lens clarifying compound to this nasty headlight lens. And man, you can tell immediately when putting this on, you know, it just grips. My microfiber pad starts to drag. You got to reapply it. Again, this kit comes with plenty. So don't chinch on the compound, don't chinch on the lubricant spray. Now I'm definitely putting in some elbow grease, man. I'm sure you guys can hear it. But the evidence here, the proof is in the pudding, as they say. It's really working. All right, so I like where that's at. I'm gonna go ahead and let it dry and set up, get that haze, again, about 2 minutes or so. All right, we come back here, check in, and it is definitely hazed over. So we're gonna go ahead and get our microfiber cloth, and we're gonna take it off opposite of how we placed it on there. This time, that's gonna be clockwise. Once again, immediately I can tell a difference in this lens. It is really rewarding at how well that lens clarifying compound really breaks that oxidization Really does a fantastic job, honestly. This one even looks a little bit better, I think, to begin with than our passenger side. So now we're ready to go ahead with this wet sanding process. And we're gonna do this all over again, repeating the same steps we did on the other side. I'll let you guys watch and enjoy as you see this cloudy substance start to come out, clearly showing that it's working. All right, we can certainly tell that just like the passenger side, this is working. We did about 1 minute there. We're gonna move on to the brown side, which is number 2, reposition ourselves and start sanding. All right, on to the teal side, indicated by number 3. Now, one thing I'm trying to do that I hope comes across is I'm trying my best to keep long strokes here and avoid any unnecessary short strokes. I believe as you're sanding and wet sanding, keeping that stroke long really helps to cut down, along with the lubricant. It helps to keep down on any potential imperfections or marring that might occur on the surface from the sanding process. Well, I can already tell you guys this is going to look fantastic as we move on to the purple number 4. Not only can you guys start to see a difference, oh, good catch, but I can feel a difference. As you remove that oxidization, like I said on the other side, the surface just becomes more and more smooth. There's less resistance on the surface of the headlight lens. And you can tell that you're doing the job that this kit intends you to do. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of focusing here on this top edge because there was so much oxidization on that edge. And obviously there's no way I'm going to be able to get that back and forth at an angle. All right. I feel very good about that. We're gonna go ahead and take our microfiber and wipe it off. All right, now if you guys remember, after the sanding process, we are back to the lens clarifying compound. We're gonna apply this in a circular motion. This time we're gonna be going clockwise. Once again, no reason to not be liberal here. Use as much as you want. Make sure to apply firm pressure. You want to work this compound into every single portion of this lens. All right, now we're gonna let this dry and haze up. Same thing, about 2 minutes. All right, guys, it's been about 2 minutes. We've got it pretty hazed up. We're gonna go ahead and remove it. Again, opposite of how we applied it. So counterclockwise. And man, this lens really has turned out very nice. I wish you guys could see and feel just how smooth this surface has gotten now. Really impressive. All right, so now we're down to the final step. We have gone through all of the restoration steps on both headlights, and now we're down to both of the wipes. First is going to be the lens base coat wipe. Now, it's very important what you do is once you open this, you're going to apply it in a nice thick coat to both headlights. We're going to let that come to a complete dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to apply the lens sealing wipe to both headlights as well. All right, first up, it's the sealing wipe. We're going to unfold it. Now, this is definitely where you want to use gloves. And we are going to apply it nice and liberally to the headlight. Okay, now let's move on to the other side. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to use the other side of the wipe for the other headlight lens. As you can see, it's going on quite heavily. It is a thick liquid. You'll be able to feel it whenever you do it yourself. All right, we're gonna let that come to a dry. Now, this is a really important step in the instructions. You need to stay here and monitor the base coat as it dries because the instructions are very clear. As soon as the base coat dries, it says to go ahead and apply the lens sealing wipe. Now, the lens sealing wipe is really important. It allows this process to cure, and it allows your headlight and the restoration of this headlight. And essentially, it's stating that this is going to last longer if you do it the right way. I don't think anybody should believe that this is going to last forever, but you should want it to last as long as possible. Now, in the instructions, since it does take up to 24 hours, it does say that you can drive the vehicle immediately after applying this. But in my thought, why even take that chance? It's best to be able to do this restoration in the late evening as the sun's going down so that your surfaces are not burning, scorching hot. You're going to have better results. And if you do it in the late evening, apply the lens sealing wipe and let it cure. Don't drive the vehicle for, man, at least 8 to 16 hours. I would hate to do all of this work, get on the road, and then have bugs, debris, rocks, other things, dust, sticking to it or messing with that curing process. You've gone to all the hard work to really have these great results. Why not just finish it the right way? So I'm sitting here, I'm looking at this, and we are almost fully dry and ready for the lens sealing wipe. I'm gonna go walk over and check on the passenger side and see how it's coming along, and then we'll get started. All right, so we've got the lens sealing wipe open. And once again, you'll be able to tell this is a very thick substance on this wipe. We're gonna use one side of the wipe for each headlight, and we're gonna apply it liberally on both headlight lenses. All right, I feel good with that one. Let's move over to the passenger side. Flip the side over and start applying it to the passenger side headlight assembly. All right, there we go. Process done. I am so happy with these results. As the sun sets on a job well done, I wanted to show you guys the first in a series of afters. And I say the first because I'm gonna come back in the daylight and show you guys how it looks. But I'm incredibly impressed with this product. For under $20, when done right, man, what a great result. Not only in visibility on driving conditions, it's gonna make a clear impact, but also in the aesthetics of the front end of the vehicle. Let's go look at the driver's side. I really think the driver's side might have turned out better than the passenger side. Look at that, guys. Look at that glare. And how about this? That top edge really turned out nice, didn't it? Compared to where it came from, man, that before and after is significant on that top edge. Really happy. And here's a late evening after with the hood propped, and after with the hood closed. Man, what a difference. Now it is darker outside, but I wanted to show you guys the LED headlights now. Just to kind of give you, again, an after view of what it looks like. Huge difference. Here's the driver's side clarity. And lastly, the front end shot with both the LED fogs and the LED headlights. Well, it is the next day, and this headlight restoration has really proven itself to be valuable. I'm telling you, for the cost of less than $15, I'm very impressed with Turtle Wax and how this has come out. Just some high points for you guys to remember. I highly suggest doing this job when it's not hot outside and the surface of your headlight lens is not hot, because honestly, it just makes it so much easier to work with. It's just like washing your car. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but it's not a good idea to wash your car in the super hot sunlight. So it's a similar thing there, but man, I'll tell you, really good results. It has taken these yellow oxidized headlight lenses on this first gen Sequoia and turned them upside down. And now, I'm telling you, it just looks so much better. Hey, listen, I'll try to do a follow-up here in about a month or two, a quick little video to let you guys know how exactly this is holding up. You know, I wash my own cars. I don't take them through car washes, and I do it pretty religiously about once every week, unless weather or otherwise. So, you know, that's gonna help it to hold up and last over time. but I'll still do a follow-up and let you guys know how it's doing. If you're interested in the Turtle Wax product, I'll include a link in the description below. And as always, thank you guys so much for hanging around. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that if you do this job on your own vehicle, you can come back and leave a comment below and let me know how it went for you.